Keep your radio dial right here. You're locked into the hottest news station on the planet. Hot 702.5 in FM sound. Blazing today's hip-hop, R&B, and pop music. Keeping your radio on fire. Bringing you the hottest, realest, riskiest talk shows live 24/7 on hot7025fm.com.
Close your eyes. Imagine a room that doesn't just look beautiful, it feels alive. The lighting is perfect, the energy is electric, and the scent of gourmet creation is in the air. Now look around. You aren't just checking the kitchen or hovering over the guest list. You're in the moment. You're the life of the party. Welcome to the world of irresistible events and catering. In a city built on spectacle, we specialize in spectacular. At Irresistible Events and Catering, we just don't fill plates, we curate memories because our philosophy is simple, elegant, and absolute. We plan, cater, and style any event. Why settle for ordinary when you can have the irresistible? Elevate your event at irresistibleeventslv.com.
It's your main man, 360 the Poet from the Morning Wood. And are you looking for the perfect drink? Well, you found it. Mimosa Royale is the perfect combination of California's sparkling white wine and natural juice that is both tasty and refreshing. No artificial colors or flavors, no sugar added, and it's gluten-free. As the world's first ready-to-drink mimosa, Mimosa Royale is perfect for any occasion, day or night. You no longer have to drink 12 of those seltzers just to get that perfect buzz. At 8% alcohol, Mimosa Royale is the perfect drink to party with. Offered in a variety of flavors and sizes, you are bound to find a Mimosa Royale that you'll love. We have berry, mango, apple, and orange, with more flavors to come. Mimosa Royale is the most award-winning flavored wine that serves in bottles or cans. You can find them online at drinkmimosa.com or find them at your local liquor store. Ask for it by name. Mimosa Royale.
Hey, what's up? All your favorite artists.
Check it out. DJ Khaled.
This is Mila J.
Bruno Mars.
On hot7025fm.com.
Hey y'all, it's your girl Cheryl Underwood, and you're tuned into the hottest news station on the planet, Hot 702.5.
Hey, this is Her Flow from Hot 702.5 FM, where we bring you the best in hip-hop, R&B, pop, and talk. Tune in. Hey, thank you for tuning in. You have tuned into The Flow with Her Flow right here on Hot 702.5 FM. Every week at 4 p.m., I am blazing hot right here. So you guys make sure you tune in every single week. Today, we have on our show, on The Flow here, we're talking to a man who not only fixes smiles, he also makes people smile and help people to smile. And he's building confidence and changing lives and doing it alongside his wife, I must admit, and a great team that he has at his dentistry. And that's what we're talking about today. We're talking about getting those teeth fixed, making sure that you have a great smile, building confidence through a shared vision called Premier Dental. Hey. Yes. Hey, Frank, what's up? How are you?
Great. I'm doing great. How you doing?
I am doing amazing. Jessica said she was going to talk first. So I was like, okay. I said, whoever wants to go on first. It's so good to see you. I know I haven't seen you in a while, but how things been going for you?
It's going good. It's going good. Our clinic is called Supreme Dental Clinic.
Supreme Dental Clinic. Yes. And let me ask you a question, Frank. I know you and I had got an opportunity to talk, but we're going to get right into the meat of the subject because it's really important to me that people know who you are. So tell me, Frank, take us back. What made you want to go into dentistry?
Well, it was 2008. My wife and I were actually 21 at the time. And my father-in-law owns different plazas here in Mexico, and we decided to start a business. He said, hey, what kind of business you guys looking at starting? We're just 21, and we looked around. My brother-in-law had another dental clinic, very successful, and I said, as long as there's people, there's going to be teeth. So decided to go ahead and started first as it started as my wife and I are not dentists, we're business. And a lot of places here would really be against that because they believe that to have a dental clinic, you needed to be a dentist. Well, we changed all that, obviously, and we're very happy we did.
Absolutely. And I have this question for you. I know dentistry at 21, dentistry wasn't your first plan, a thought, was it? Or what did you have planned before 21?
Before 21, I knew that I wanted to be in business. Actually, I wanted to be a doctor, to tell you the truth. I wanted to be an anesthesiologist back in the day when I barely started everything. But then since I was little, believe it or not, in a Hispanic community, you go to piñatas, so you get the little bag of candy. Instead of eating the candy, I would actually go to school and I would actually sell the candy. So I knew that I had to do something with business before I got into this industry for sure.
Yeah. And where are you guys located, Frank?
We're located in Los Algodones, Baja California. A lot of people say it's a smaller city. We're in the border. We're a block away from the border.
Got it. Now, let me ask you this. Your wife also, she's not a dentist as well. She's just in the business with you.
That is correct. Yeah, my wife and I, we're not dentists. We have dentists here working with us, and we make sure that they make sure that your mouth is perfect. We make sure that everything else is perfect.
Okay. And I know that it's much cheaper to go to Algodona, much cheaper to go over the border to get dentistry done. Can you tell me why that is?
It's actually around 50 to 70% cheaper to come down to Mexico than the United States. And it's most likely is because of the labor and how expensive it is to study in the United States to be a dentist. And to me, in my opinion, I believe that it has a lot to do with insurances also, that the price also is very high. Here in Mexico, it works a lot different. So we get a lot of patients from all over the United States. 95% of our patients are actually from the United States, to tell you the truth. And even though we are 50 to 70% cheaper than we are from the United States, it's actually the value that we bring that makes people come from all over. We're talking about New York, we're talking about Florida, we're talking about Seattle. They fly from all over to be here to get their smile back.
Yeah. And you're on your street, how many more dentists are there? I know there's plenty of dentists, but you guys really stand out because of the services. That's how I found you, because you stand out because of the services that you do provide. So what type of services would you say that you provide that a person could come right to you and say, hey, listen, what's the process of, let's say, for instance, I found you and I say, hey, I want to go to Premier Dental. What do I do next? What would be the process behind that?
Well, if you want to come to Supreme Dental, one of the things here is there's over 117 dental clinics here in Los Algodones, Mexico. Mm-hmm. There's over 117 dental clinics here. And so why choose? What makes us different? Well, we have 10 international accreditations, which is more than any other clinic in Mexico's history. Being part of the Dental Association, the ADA, the AACD, you name it. We also have a speaker for two of the most prestigious implant companies in the world, which is Noble, Biocare, and Straumann, which are both from Switzerland. We're also been mentioned in the New York Times, ABC, NBC, ICI Canada, and in the near future, in the next couple of weeks, Cosmopolitan, Allure, Elle, and we just got the call from Forbes Mexico. So we've been doing this for a while. We focus on having quality for our patients. One of the things that really sticks out is that we go train worldwide. So here at Supreme, everybody's under the same roof. So, in the United States, you need a root canal flow. You got to go to the root canal.
Yeah.
It's going to take you 2-3 weeks. Then you're going to get a couple crowns done over here. It's going to take you 3-4 weeks here. Root canal specialists are here. People with master's degree in implantology, people with specialties in cosmetic work, people that train in Prague, the people that have written the books on dentistry, that's the people that we actually go train with.
That's amazing.
That's what we bring here. So we've had people from, and I don't even know if we can mention, but we have people that have been on Fast and the Furious. We've been NFL players. We've had baseball players. We've had people that have been on Yellowstone, the series. We've had, you name it. I mean, producers. We have business owners from Vegas, a lot of business owners from Vegas that have been down here to get their teeth done and just to keep on smiling.
I'm going to tell you something, and I've had my personal experience too with you, Frank, and I'm going to tell you guys, my listening audience, it was the best experience that I've had. Actually, I'm going to be getting some work done soon, hopefully here, and I just want to say the staff, Jessica, and just amazing. And I probably, because I had my mind set on like trying to do something else. I had other visions, but however, the universe brought us together, and here you are. And I'm just very proud of what you're doing, and I'm thankful for you and what you're doing and how you operate in your business. What would you say? If a person is coming from the United States that is scared to go over the border, scared to get work done, would they also be able to come back to the United States if something happened, or do they have to get the dentist work, come back to Mexico to get the work done?
So when someone comes into Mexico to get their work done, when they come to us, we have some situations we have lifetime warranty. Another situation, depending on what you're getting, that depends on the different warranties that you have. All warranties is done here at our clinic. But one of the main things that patients come in from all over is we pick you up in San Diego, we pick you up in Phoenix Airport, where, like I said, I could toss a football. If I was like Tom Brady, I could toss a football and I'd be able to hit the U.S. Customs just right here. It's literally just right here. So it's what makes it so special is that we're a border town, but it's not really like a border town. Like it's like a beach city with no beach, Los Algodones. They actually want to rename it Molar City because of so many dentists that are here. But here, one of the main focus is focusing on you guys, So I know that, for example, I was born and raised in the United States. I have dual citizenship. So if I was going to go to China to get my dental work done, first of all, do I know what they're saying? Do they know what I'm saying? Do I know what they're saying? Do we understand each other? So here, all of our staff speaks English. All of our staff, all of our dentists are part of the American Dental Association. So that who's going to be working on your mouth. It's going to be not just up to par, but it's going to exceed whatever you're going back at home a lot of the times. Actually, I tell our patients, when you get back home, don't compare us with other clinics around here. Compare the clinic back at home. And 9 times out of 10, we're going to come out on top because we don't just want to be as good, we want to be better.
Exactly. And atmosphere makes a difference too, like a big difference. And that's what I found when talking with Jessica. The atmosphere is amazing. Tell me, so I'm going to get into pricing, but what are some of the most popular services that you have at Premier Dental that people come to get a lot of?
It's Supreme Dental.
Supreme Dental.
Supreme Dental. So Supreme Dental.
Apologies.
Supreme Dental. We have veneers. Veneers is something that people is all about cosmetic. Implants. Implants, the all-on-4, all-on-6, when someone comes in and they need to extract their teeth and they want to get that smile back, but something that looks realistic. See, a lot of times patients, they look at different, when you think about crowns, you think about your grandpa, your grandma back in the day, the big chiclets, the big, ugly teeth. So cosmetic has gone long ways. Technology is a whole different monster nowadays. So veneers, cosmetic work, and implants, being able to get that smile back is one of the things that we get here on the day-to-day basis.
Yeah. And you know what? This is the funny thing, because I kept talking when I was talking to Jessica, I kept saying, you guys are the premier person. And I think that's why I'm saying it now, because for me, the when I looked at the dentistry, and excuse me for saying that, but you guys were the premium, like the premier dentist that was in Mexico. And I looked, there were a lot of dentists, and I kept telling you guys are the premier, but it's supreme. It's also supreme. And so I really appreciate that correction. But so tell me this. What was a game changer for you where you said, you know what, I'm going to do this business? And you and your wife both, you guys share the business together. What's a day-to-day look like for you, Frank, with sharing that business with your wife?
It's a blessing. It's a blessing. I'm going to tell you that because one thing led to another. So we started with 2 dental chairs. We started with just 2 dental chairs, and our reception was just big enough for 4 just normal seats for someone to sit in. And now we have a total of 12 dental chairs. We count with we count with we have our own CAT scan, the Carestream 9600, which is the best in the world, 5 years running. We have our own lab that we had to actually make, because when you get an all-on-4, all-on-6, back in the day, I don't know if you've gone to the dentist before, Flo, and they put that putty in your mouth, or you can't talk, and it makes you want to gag. Well, we don't use it anymore. See, now we use photogrammetry. So, for example, the Pig Dental Shining, but the Pig Dental, the guy who developed the Pig Dental, his name is Adrian Hernandez. He's from Spain. He actually flew down here to train my staff. And it was so much technology for here. Actually, in Arizona, There's only actually in Beverly Hills, there's one doctor that has the pick because how expensive it is. And we actually had to develop our own lab to be able to use this type of technology because we're learning from all over the world. And now we come back here in the labs here, we're good, but we're not that type of good, not that world-class good. So we developed our own lab, which then my wife then developed Eternal Beauty, which is a beauty spa. When you're down here, why not? Get a little wrinkle here, a little wrinkle there, or make sure you get your IV treatment. So if you just flew in from New York or from Florida, you're dehydrated. So why not you're feeling better than how you walked in and looking great? To having your own podcast, Supreme Dental Podcast, where it started as something that was just informative so we can send to patients. So Jessica, Ernesto, Luis, Manny, Noemi can send to patients and be able to, let's say, for example, Flo was asking about veneers. What better yet than having the owner of the clinic and one of their premier doctors be talking about veneers and send it to them and they'll be able to answer all their questions for them, right? Well, then all of a sudden one of our episodes has 37,000 views and it's been a blessing to now even finishing up building our Supreme Gym, which our staff works out there 24 hours, 7 days a week is open just for our staff. And something that no one knows, Flo, so this is going to be the first time that we're talking about anywhere online is and by radio, especially by radio, is we're building Supreme Gemba. So it's the first international learning center, and it's going to have state-of-the-art. When I'm talking state-of-the-art, I'm talking about I'm going to be able to be talking in Japanese, and through the speakers, I can put it in English so you can hear me, to bring the best of the best in the world to train here at the Supreme Gemba.
Wow, Frank. When I talked to you, I didn't know all that. I guess that's why you're on the show right now. I think that is the most magnificent thing that you're doing. And I could have chose from a lot of dentists, but when I looked at what you do and all the technology that you have, why would I pick anybody else? Why would I choose anybody else? Also, in your services that you provide, and I know there's a lot of them, can you name some of the most basic services that you provide? And then I'm going to have you say the day-to-day process. If a person calls you, what would be the process of going through and getting those dental services done? We're going to start with the first question first.
Okay. So we do everything from cleanings to fillings to just normal crowns to normal extractions. We don't do braces. That's one thing we don't do. To implants, to full mouth reconstructions with either implants or cosmetic work.
How long would a person have? I know there's different time frames. Is there times when people have to actually go get the dental services done, come back here to America, and then go back to Mexico to get that work done? Is that correct? And how it's done? Or can you do some services all in one day? I'm sure.
We can do them both. So, for example, if you come in, let's say you come in from New York and you want to get your mouth veneers or crowns. You fly in on a Monday, you fly into Phoenix, San Diego, or to Yuma, or to Vegas, and we come pick you up on one of our shuttles. And we start on Monday when you get here, and by Wednesday, Thursday, you'll be flying back by Friday. Now, if we're gonna extract 28 teeth, or 22 teeth, or whatever it is, and we're gonna do implants on top and bottom, you're gonna walk out of here with temporaries on. But temporaries that actually grasp onto your implants, which that's not easy to do either. See, a lot of people just give you dentures, but studies will tell you, like the PICOS Institute, which is the #1 institute in the United States, that putting an immediate load on it works actually better for you. You lose only less than 5% of the bone structure instead of 25%. So then you would have to come back. Once we take those teeth out, we do those implants, we do the surgery, you walk out of here with the temporaries, but they look beautiful. But you do have to come back in 4 months to get your final work done on that type of procedure. But there's other procedures where in 3 to 4 days, 5 day tops, you walk out of here and you're a new person.
Okay, got it. Now, is gum health important when a person is coming to you and saying, hey, listen, maybe they're missing teeth or don't have, all of their original teeth? How important is gum health for a person that's coming that may not even know that they need to have that, those services done?
Oh, absolutely. Gum health, we call it pink aesthetic. So it's you gotta be on it. So I tell our patients, look, 50% of the work we do here, the other 50% you do back at home. No matter if you get implants or what you get, it's not like you're here for a reason. So a lot of the times it's genetics. A lot of times it could be medications, drug abuse, or so many other accidents. I mean, you name it. But a lot of the times is because of hygiene. So now, I mean, whatever got you here, we're going to fix it. But then when you get back home, I want you to maintain it. So it's when you're down here, a lot of the times, most of the patients don't want to be down here. And what do I mean by that? They want to fix their smile, but they, how did I get into this? What choices did I make to be here? But, I always tell our patients, don't focus on what you no longer have or what you're going to lose. Just focus on what you're going to gain and what experiences you're going to get from this. And what new life, you'd be surprised, Flo, how many patients we get that actually send us videos, messages. Hey, you know what? I was able to, for example, there's a gentleman in Beverly Hills who has a pizzeria. When he came here, he had 1 or 2 pizzerias. He would never smile. I don't know if you ever met these people, Flo, that when they smile, they go like this, or like that, or they go, they smile. Mm-hmm. So we went on his Facebook when we were at our podcast, and I pinpointed exactly, without even looking at the date, after he had his smile done, because he was like this, and his teeth were big. And he said, look, man, he goes, I could tell you that I'm a different person. I was the same person inside, but I was able to let that person come out. He goes, and now he owns 50 pizzerias.
Wow.
And he's really successful, because when you walk in the room, for example, Flo, if let's say I'm a nurse and I come up to you and I go, Flo, you know what? I want to let you know everything came out perfect. You're about to go home today. Blessings for you. You did great. If I tell you, Flo, everything came out great. Super happy for you. Blessings for you. You're going to go home today. I said the same thing. The only thing I changed was the smile. And that smile brought warmth. And that smile brought, humanity to you. You connected, and now it just brings your real self. They say one of the biggest social media influencers in Mexico, which is Dr. Cesar Lozano, says that the smile is the key to the soul. And I am 100%.
Mm-hmm. I agree with you, Frank. I want to know because you guys have a hotel there too, right, on site where people can stay. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, see, we don't own the hotel. Somebody close to us does. My father-in-law is Baja Hotel. It's actually connected to Los Algodones Hotel. He just changed the name like 6 months ago. But it's connected here to Supreme Dental. And literally you could walk out of our clinic. I'm actually at the clinic right now, so I'm looking over there. But you can walk out of the clinic, and there's 1, 2, 3 suites right there. And upstairs is a total of 16. So there's 19 suites. The main suites have even a hot tub, jetted tub for you. But you'll be able to just walk upstairs and walk downstairs, come get your work done, and go right back up. And there's a restaurant also here. There's a pharmacy here. We have Eternal Beauty here. Everything is here. It's like a one-stop shop.
Yes. And I did get some of your pricing when you guys sent it to me. And I will tell you that you are correct in saying that it's really affordable, 50 to 75% cheaper than you would in the United States. Not only that, you're going to get Supreme services from Supreme Dental, definitely. So like, how young do you start with the services? What's the age group that you start with, Frank?
So we normally see patients that are 16 to 17 and higher. It is very rare when we have someone younger. And if we do, it's normally someone that we want to help, because we do help a lot. We do a lot of help in the community. But it's normally those cases that we see is from that point on. For something like veneers and obviously and things like that, normally we've seen people pulling their teeth completely because of how bad they were. And she was 22 years old. But it was something that if you come in and tell me, Frank, I need you to pull, which is another weird mentality. But if you turn on the TV, the only thing you see in the United States is I walked in, I walked out, I have a brand new smile, I pulled out my teeth. Now, that's not always the option. Flo, if your toe hurts, I'm not going to tell you chop off your leg.
Right.
And then it's going to feel great. It doesn't work that way, So, so what happens with this is we have the mentality of I'm going to take everything out, I'm going to put something fake in, and boom, I'm done. It doesn't work that way. There's nothing like having your own teeth. Now, if it's the last resort going that way, we're going to make it amazing. But if we can still save the other, that's what we do. And we got to let you know straight out what's the best for you. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. I want to talk about the 4-on-4 and the 6-on-6 for those who don't know, and if you can kind of explain that to our listeners, people who may be missing teeth or people who may be trying to fix their teeth to create the smile that we were just talking about. What is the 4-on-4 and the 6-on-6? And then you have an all-on-X. Do you have that as well?
Yeah. So
Okay.
the all-on-4 thing, it says like this: all on 4, all on 6. So that means is that you take all the teeth out on the top and it sits 4 implants. The whole prosthesis sit on those 4 implants. That's the all on 4. The all on 6, you have 6 implants instead of 4. The all on X means we don't know. It could be 6 implants, 7 implants, 8 implants. It's really rare when something like that happens. But that's what the all on 4, all on 6 is. And that is the last resort, which means is that when we have to pull everything out and we got to, and we want to give you something permanent, because nobody wants to put something in and put something out, and then you're talking and something flops out. We want something that stays permanent so you can stay, to consistently be yourself. And one of the main things is, and I always tell you that in my podcast, I have a model that's called do your research. Here at our clinic, it's Smiling Starts Here. But we always say do your research. Why? Because everybody is going to tell you what you want to hear. Right? In the United States, you say, wow, I'm going to pay $70,000. Over here, I'm only going to pay this much, let's go. But everywhere you go, it doesn't mean you're going to get, a great quality. You're looking for someone that actually knows what they're doing, because you want whatever you invest on. This is not like a car part that you're just looking around for what's the cheapest. I'm all about shopping and I'm a smart shopper, but you got to do your due diligence and actually go somewhere that knows what they're doing, because it has to do with your health. I don't know if you knew this, but when someone has heart problems, 95% of the time it starts with your mouth. It's because you have cavities, and cavities infection. Actually, the second most contagious, what's it called? It's not a virus, but the second most contagious, I spaced out on the word, is number 1 is when you have the runs. It's really contagious, the virus.
The symptoms and the ailments, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The second one is actually cavities. So what do we do? Well, for example, I'm talking to the Hispanic community. You drink a soda, you drink whatever you drink, and then you give some to your son or your daughter, the same cup. What happens? Your cavities are a lot more aggressive than a young kid. So now the young kid, I don't know if you've seen a lot of the younger kids, their teeth are all destroyed. Mm-hmm. You're just like, wow, it's because he eats a lot of sugar. No, it's most likely because he also drinks from your same cup that you're drinking. And it's just informing. You want to inform, you want to let everyone know, and it's all about just sharing that. And I tell people here around, I tell dental clinics here around, it's not about competing, it's about collaborating. It's about we got to come together, and we got to make sure that everyone understands why you're getting this done, why this is the best for you, and why this cannot be performed, because you cannot just go from daylight to darkness just like this and expect it to be okay. The world doesn't work that way.
Mm-hmm. And I remember growing up, Frank, when we used to have people come in to our school from the dental services or a dentist office, and they would just give us a bag with the toothbrush, and we would get the toothpaste and that kind of thing. And at that time, we didn't have floss. Like we didn't know about flossing or anything like that. Tell me in layman's terms, what are some of the technology that has changed? I know we kind of went over it earlier that you've seen since being 21 and now in the dental industry.
Swish and spit. Remember that one? I hated that in school.
I remember.
Oh my gosh.
I remember.
I would hope for the bubblegum flavor. I remember that one. but no, it's technologies came so far. I mean, it's so far. Now we don't really have to shave down your teeth that much anymore to be able to give you something cosmetic. A lot of patients say, oh my God, but my teeth are so tore up. They're so broken, Frank. How can you save them? See, I don't care what your teeth look on the outside of your gum. I care what they look like on the inside of your gum. The foundation, and that's where our digital x-rays come in play. That's where we actually take a look at your foundation, because if your foundation, just like a house, if your foundation is weak, if you keep on building a 2-story house, it's gonna at some point it's gonna fall. So your foundation has to be strong, and that's one thing that we look for. So having photogrammetry, having digital impressions, having all the x-ray technology, but not just that, is pinpoint with that is having someone that knows how to use it. having somebody at the lab. So for example, I'm pretty sure that Jessica told you we're about to launch Supreme Dental app. So Supreme Dental app. So one of the things, Flo, that people say is, well, I don't know if I want to go to Mexico and get my teeth done, or Colombia, or wherever, right? Because I don't know what they're going to look like. So my wife and I developed this application, and it went from little to a lot, with the best of the best in Florida. And now you're going to be able to take a picture, and within 10 seconds, you'll be able to see what you would look like with a brand new smile.
Oh, that is awesome.
Lab grade. It's the first AI smile preview lab grade in the world. And it's going to give the first time ever a dentalist patients, meaning patients that have no teeth, their smile. And it bases off of your line. It bases off of your eyes. So it actually gives you your smile. Your smile's not like over here, where you're moving. No, it's right there. And also it's going to give you the first dental ChatGPT with over 7,000 response. So you'll be able to ask away any questions you have. And we named it Juan, because how many dental ChatGPTs do you need to answer your dental questions?
One.
So my wife came up with that name. So it's
I love that.
Awesome.
I love that. And one day I'll get a chance to meet your wife. I don't think we did before, but I'll definitely get a chance to meet your wife. I'm going to ask you one more question before we come on with Jessica, because you answered all the questions. Let's talk about pricing before we get off on some of the things, just really quick. I don't want you to go because I know there's a lot of pricing, but for the basic and typical, like the 4-on-4, the 6, the all on X, and those type of prices, how much would it be for a 4-on-4 or 6-on-6 or however what's the pricing?
So there's different packages that we have. There's like, for example, the all-on-4 or the all-on-6, I believe for just depending if you want both arches, but everything starts like around 13,000, 11,000 and up. We also have all inclusives. So as you know, where you go somewhere, Flo, they're like, well, like a used car salesman. Hey, come in, the car is so much. And then you walk in and you're like, okay, I'll take it. Well, if you want the tires and the rims, wait, what do you mean? I thought it came with it because it's a car. Well, if you want this, if you want that. So the all-inclusive packages that we have everything. They include everything. So no matter what, I'm going to need another implant. What's all-inclusive? If you need a 7th or an 8th implant, it's already included in there. Well, what about if I need 5-6 more root canals? Your price remains the same because it's all inclusive. You're well taken care of. And right before we put Jessica in here, because I know she also wants to jump in. She's amazing at what she does. Remember back in the day, Flo, I don't know if you've seen all those commercials, and TikTok it was really big, where you used to bite into this mouth guard and it used to glow blue. Mm-hmm. That whitening, Money Mayweather had it. The Kardashians had it. Ellen DeGeneres had it.
Mm-hmm. I remember.
Gronkowski had it. Well, his name is Josh Snow. One day he contacted us here at Supreme Dental. Actually, Ernesto's husband. And Ernesto told me, hey, man, Josh Snow is in. I'm like, that's not Josh Snow. Well, Josh Snow walks in through my door. And, this guy had just flown in from Italy. His Bentley was parked across in the United States. And we have several videos, and he said, I could have been anywhere else in the world, but I'm here with you guys because you guys are the best that there is. And his fiance had her smile done completely with us. So that is the type of level of dentistry that we have here at Supreme Dental.
Yeah, and I already know because you guys sent me the package, and I was just like, I had to call Jessica, and I go, Jessica, all of this in one package? So I would definitely encourage my listeners, if you're needing dental work done, if you're looking for a place that's going to give you excellent services, if you're looking for an environment that you feel safe in, and this is it. I wouldn't listen to the flow. I'm just letting you know. So, you know what, Frank, thank you. I definitely appreciate you coming on, and I'm looking forward to collaborating with you. I am definitely thankful today for you for taking time because I know you are a busy man, and I appreciate you and your wife. Thank you for letting us borrow him today. I definitely appreciate you, and I'm going to have you back on, Frank. You know that, right, already?
I did not know that.
Well, you're coming back on. For sure. I'm letting you know that right now. So thank you so much. I'm going to get Jessica on real quick so she can talk, and I'll talk to you soon.
Perfect. Talk to you then.
Thank you. Hi, Jessica.
Hi.
Hey, beautiful. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
We just spoke. a little while ago, but I'm so excited to have you on. And Frank really answered so many questions that we have, but I do have more questions because I know you have the answers to those questions, right?
Well,
so
I
Jessica,
heard it all. It was great.
it was amazing. I can't wait to come there. I'll be there soon.
Information, like all chopped into one. I loved it.
Yes, and we kind of compacted and got a lot in at one time.
Yes.
So tell me, you do so much over at Supreme, and I want to make sure that people know that office doesn't run itself. For sure. You do so much, and you and I talk on a regular basis, but I want people to know, for our listeners who don't know you over at Supreme, what is it that you do at Supreme Dental?
I am a patient coordinator for Supreme Dental. I've been doing this for, it's going to be 7 years this year. Started off as hey, you want to, let's see where this goes. It was actually Frank's wife. After we were hanging out, we've known each other for a while. Ernesto, my husband Ernesto, and Frank are friends. But quick backstory: her and I were talking. We were in her kitchen and we were visiting, and I was really, really into. I'm still into it, but I noticed that she had these essential oils in her kitchen, and I just started rattling off everything that I know about it because I use them myself on my kids and everything. But she called Frank ended up calling my husband and said Jessica was so passionate and sold me on what she was talking about and everything that she knew and her product knowledge and everything. I think she could do that with our patients. And I told Ernesto, I said, I don't know anything about, besides brushing my teeth, I don't know anything else, but, fast forward 7 years later, and I've just been loving it, loving the whole process of helping patients, talking to people, meeting people like you. And
you become my soul sister. We talk all the time now.
I know.
Yeah, I really love it. And I'm so grateful for you because you have really worked hard for me. One thing that I do want to mention, if you do, which I hope if you need dental work, decide to go to Supreme Dental, is that you're going to have a team of people that are really going to work hard for you. You're not going to be speaking to a voicemail when people call. You're not going to get the answering service unless you're like super busy, but they're going to get right back with you. So It's good to know that if you have any issues, which you won't with I've did my research with Supreme, you won't have those type of issues. And if you do, they're going to take care of it. So that's good to know that you are in good hands. And that's what I found when dealing with you and talking to Frank and just going over things that I haven't had any issues with anything that you're saying. I'm really looking forward to coming. Yeah. I'm definitely looking forward to coming.
Well, I'm really passionate about helping patients even before they walk into the door, just because it is scary. I've helped patients that have never even been to Mexico, have never crossed the border, have never left. Some people have never left their zip code. So, but the necessity after being disappointed in what they hear at their doctor's office, after being told that for, to replace a single tooth, it's like $6,000.
Yeah.
I always, it's a running joke with patients, but when they give me their quotes as far as what they're being quoted in the States, I'm like, well, for that, you could park an Escalade in your mouth. Are your teeth going to drive you somewhere?
Oh my God.
But it's a blessing to be able to be a blessing to others and to be that bridge. And it's not scary. It's not a scary process. It's really not. And we really try to remove that friction from the whole process, because I have a man that's coming in next month who's never flown. And he said, my teeth hurt so bad. He was like, I'm scared, to death to fly, but I'm going to fly because I need to get this done. And I'm like, I feel you. I understand. Mm-hmm. But, it's not scary. I actually work from home. I'm not there. I'm in Indiana. I'm in my basement office. So,
It's okay, as long as you're here.
yeah. So, but there's more agents like myself that are. My husband also does this. There we have and his office is out in the shed in the backyard. He's got a nice little office there. But we've got Luis, who is in Chihuahua. And then our two other agents are actually in the clinic. So there's 3 of us that are remote, which is nice because of, different time zones and all of that. But I think people are afraid that we're not going to understand them or not be able to know, to be able to communicate with them. But that's the communication is not the barrier. It's the person themselves. Like they need to take that first step.
Yeah. What's a day-to-day? I know with you being the patient coordinator, what does a day-to-day look like for you? And how would the process work if someone would call you and say, hey, listen, I need dental work? How would that process go? How would it flow? No pun intended.
How does it flow? So, we definitely work. I personally, work, probably 7 days a week. We kind of take it easy on the weekend, but, we are very sensitive to the fact that patients are traveling. So let's say I have a patient that's traveling on Sunday to be in the clinic on Monday. I'm hyper aware of that, and I'm available to them to make sure I'm talking to them. But the very first step of talking with me or one of the other agents is to just, we want to get to know your case. We want to get an understanding, get a baseline of where you're at, and maybe what you've been told, what you've been, or maybe you haven't been to a dentist in, a long time. Some people are very, very afraid of the dentist and have avoided it for such a long time. But, we get any pictures that we can get, any imaging that we can get. I have direct access to the doctors. We're all in a group with them, and we're constantly getting feedback from them. So, we try to get as much information, as many answers for you, even before you get into the door. And then, we talk about preliminary pricing. We like Frank mentioned, we have a lot of packages. And so those packages are meant to be as inclusive as possible so that we are getting them everything that they need in their visits. And so we try to fit them into those packages,
Yeah, and you definitely have a one-stop, one-shop, Jessica, because when you sent the information to me and you went over that and you and I spoke, I mean, everything, from the hotel to the spa to the dental service to the anesthesia.
Yeah.
It was just everything. And then you do, at the end, there's some kind of a rub or some kind of
lymphatic massage.
Yes.
So the Eternal Beauty was totally Aida's vision, and they had talked about it. And I tell you, every time for the last 7 years, every time I go back to visit, there is something new. And it's not just like, oh, we have a new something. It's like we have a spa, or we got a second location, or we have a lab, and now they're building that learning center, and it's such an amazing thing to be a part of.
I couldn't be more grateful to have found it. I know that you and I are collaborating on some things with Supreme Dental, and I just want to let you know, Jessica, if they mention the flow or her flow, tell them what they may try to get a little bit of if they mention the flow on when they come. So that'll something that we're collaborating together.
We're collaborating and we're working on it, but we definitely want anybody that hears this and it wants any information about how we can help them. If you do book an appointment and come and see us and get some work done. There are some gifts and services in the works that we want to provide for just specifically for your viewers, because they found you through the flow. So we're excited about that. There's more to come on that. So there's definitely going to be a lot of push on social media and all of that. And Flow will be putting that out there as soon as we can pin all that down. But we want to make sure that something special comes their way for your viewers.
Yes, yes. Thank you for
So
that
yeah,
too, as well.
absolutely.
So people always are really afraid of that initial call to you because they don't know what to expect. So how do you, from start
Uh,
to finish, make a person when they call feel comfortable in speaking about what's going on with you? Is there something that you send them right away, or do you tell them? Because what's the difference between a 360 and a panel? I know you and I talked about that because a lot of people think, oh, if I get the 360, that's going to work. But what's the difference between the two?
so here's the one thing. There's a lot of dental tourism is wild. Let me just tell you, because there are a lot of people out there that are in it for the just for the business, and there's not the human side of it. And so if you're going to a dentist and they're not telling, and you want implants, um they should be saying the first thing that we need to do is a CT scan. I don't even we need to do a CT scan. We need to do that because here, the difference between a CT scan and a panoramic, think of a panoramic as just the wall. Like you can see that the wall is there, the wall exists or whatever. But a CT scan is going to show you what's behind the wall. It's going to show you the bone density, the depth. It's going to show you all the nerve endings, everything. There's a very important nerve that runs down your jawline here. And some people have a lot of space here and some people do not. And so for some people, um, it could be very detrimental for anybody who gets that nerve that is damaged. And you have to have a doctor that has not only the knowledge, but the right tools and the right technology to be able to determine that and make a proper diagnosis. And so if you've got a doctor, especially anybody who's out there that's doing their research and is looking at different doctors, I know that Colombia is very, very popular. Turkey is very, very popular. And unfortunately, a lot of people get really, really mesmerized by the price. So, I mean, you can go to Turkey and even pay way less than what we're charging, what we're charging is way less than the US already. And then somebody says, man, I can go to Istanbul and get it even cheaper. And I'm like, there's a point where the red flag should start to pop in, So, there's differences and there's levels to it, right? But anybody that's like implants research 101, you need to make sure that whoever you're talking to is getting a CT scan done on you, a fresh one, to be able to plan, because they spend a lot of time planning before you even sit in the chair and sit there and get this work done. You can't do this without a good plan.
Exactly. And, for me, I had been probably searching for about a year and I kept coming back to Supreme. Like, I was like, okay, let me look at this. But I kept coming just because you just have so much. And it's not even just the prices that you have, but it's also the services, the atmosphere, the people. It's everything wrapped in one. So I just feel like I just want to let my listeners know, and this is not to even blow smoke, they are one of the best dental offices that I have come across. And I feel like I'm very blessed to have really come across you, because you're going to get it done. And that's important for anybody to make sure. Now, one more question for you, Jessica. If a person had dentures, let's say, like Frank said earlier, people are just pulling teeth, right? Because that's the logical. Your teeth hurt, let's pull it, right? So for a person who has had, let's say, dentures for years, would it be safe to get a all-on-4 or all-on-6? Is that an option for someone who has had dentures?
It's very possible. The thing about it is that we're going to, again, back to the CT scan, back to doing measurements of the bone and how much you have to work with, because the lower jaw doesn't lose bone density as much as your upper maxilla. So up in this area right here, and again, I'm not a doctor, right? But I'm very fortunate to work with very graceful doctors that will give us tutorials basically and tell us what's going on. But you have lots of cavities here. You've got this, the sinuses is a big thing, big thing. And so when you have bone loss, your bone is decreasing and you're getting closer to those cavities. And so now you don't have a whole lot to work with for the implants to hook onto and be successful. Right. So you know, we have seen people that have been in dentures for, 8-10 years and that sort of thing. And they were able to successfully get implants. But it is a case by case basis for sure.
Yeah. So we got about 4 minutes to go, Jessica. 3 minutes actually. But I want people to know how to find you. Give us all the handles, give us the website. And if you're looking for a Ultimate Supreme Dental Services, just look at the name. Supreme Dental. I kept saying Premier, but you and I were talking. I was like, God, you guys are the Premier.
I know. I heard you.
I kept remembering our conversation. I was like, God, you guys have everything. And so when
it popped in my head,
I'm like, okay, yeah. But however, just give us the website and give us how we can reach you. And for people that are looking to get dentist work done, just give us that information.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you want to take a look at day to day what Supreme Dental is up to, you can go to our Instagram page. It's at Supreme Dental Clinic, just all one word, at Supreme Dental Clinic. And I mean, every week there's fresh content with patient testimonials. There's who we're collaborating with and podcast episodes and that sort of thing, and some funny things too. And then also. My direct phone number is a US number. It's 928-503-0853. You can call or text that number. And then, just make the call. Just make the call.
Make the decision.
Make the call. Let's talk. Let's have a conversation. I've had people that I've talked to for years, for 2 years, 3 years, and they finally pull the trigger. Sometimes they have to save money, and that sort of thing. And that's fine, but I'm always here. So I will guide you. I will answer all your questions. If you want to hop on a Zoom call with a doctor, I am willing to set that up. We do that all the time. And then also the only thing most patients, when they come to see us, all they have to worry about is getting their flight or just getting to the border. Because other than that, I will set up your appointment. I will book your hotel. I will book your shuttle. So, like I said, we try to make it as frictionless as possible. All you have to do is show up. It's really not scary.
It's very simple. I know. I've been talking. But and the last but not least, before we get off the air, I want you guys to know, in my listening audience, that there's a lot of financing options. So if you think you can't do it, definitely check it out, because they have many financing options. Jessica, thank you, beautiful, for coming on today. I so appreciate it. I told Frank, I was like, you're coming back on. He says, I didn't know that. Yeah, Frank, you're coming back on. Just
now.
Yeah, now. So thank you for coming on, and I so appreciate you. And you're my new sister. You already know that, right?
Oh, thank you. It's always a pleasure talking to you.
You as well. And we'll talk soon. Thank you. You guys have tuned in to Hot 702.5 FM with The Flow, and I am her Flow. Tune in next week at 4 p.m. where I'll be blazing hot next week as well. Thank you for tuning in. Hey, this is The Flow from Hot 702.5 FM, Risky Radio. Tune in every Thursday at 5 p.m. to listen to dope people, dope topics, and dope vibes.